Khris Middleton is the wing we're looking at here that's now a free agent. He had a player option for $40 million that he turned down. There are jokes flying on Twitter. All these people are saying, like, wow, it must be nice to be able to turn down $40 million. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a strategic move. I wouldn't expect him to sign with a different team, just with the way that, Milwaukee is set up. They're set up for Khris Middleton to be their piece on the wing, to make things happen, to kind of be that glue guy, the all-around player. So I would expect him to re-sign for a lower value, somewhere maybe in the 30s, the low 30s, to open up a little bit more space. The CBA is changing things. It's going to be more strict in terms of the money you're spending over the tax. The Bucks have a lot of money committed already on their books. They're going to need to kind of shave off money where they can. So, I mean, when you don't account for that $40 million on our site right now in NTC, the Bucks have about $49 million in tax space. But of course, Middleton his contract has to be added. And they have several free agents here. Brook Lopez, that's before Brook Lopez's new contract. Javon Carter's a free agent. Thanasis. I mean, you go down the list, there's all these guys they got to re-sign. But there's only about 6 players on that roster that are guaranteed for next season already right now. So they have a lot of guys they got to re-sign. They're going to run up against the tax very quickly. They're going to run into the apron space once you re-sign Khris and Brook. And then they got to fill out on the margin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him leaving Milwaukee either. He's interested in. I think getting on a deal with a lower amount of years could be in his best interest, because if we're talking about the runway this Milwaukee team has left, and you're talking about a runway where Giannis is under contract guaranteed through 24-25 season with a player option, and the following, Drew will have a player option in 24-25, unrestricted free agent the following year. And, given a coaching change this season, they're looking for a fresh start to this championship roster, and the runway for this core, I think, is about that they can run with through the end of that 24-25 season, and we can assess where the team lies and the success that they have had between now and then. And I think Khris wants to be lined up with that, with the other pillars of the organization, so that way he can be wherever he wants to be, if they're, in 3 straight finals and, they want to continue running it back, we can just sign extensions off of that, and it could be kumbaya. But if things are going south, then Khris maintains the flexibility to test his options and isn't tied down to a long-term situation for a Milwaukee Bucks team that, has a few years left in them with this core, but definitely doesn't have the longest runway of NBA teams moving forward.
Right.
And who knows, maybe he wants to be the guy. He's had the opportunity to play the Batman role. Whenever Giannis is out injured, and he's definitely shown his ability to score in bunches, and his impact is incredible on the floor. Maybe he wants to do that and be the guy in a different city.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think just keeping his options open is in his best interest, and that's kind of why I see the player option was exercised.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, he could definitely explore a little bit. I think we're on the same page. It'd be surprising if he did leave Milwaukee. I mean, like you said, if he goes in and gets a new deal for 3 years, I mean, that puts him right in line with Giannis, right in line with Drew, even right in line with Bobby Portis if he were to turn down his player option after that extension he got. So he's right up there with everybody else. He gets his money. He solidifies his place with the franchise. And it's crazy to think about, but I mean, Giannis just finished his 10th year of service. Drew just finished his 14th. Khris just finished his 11th. So all these guys have been in the league for quite a while now. And I think they realize that they don't have a ton of time left. So they're prioritizing what they need to do, get guys their one last big contract, stick together, adjust on the margins, figure out what you got to do to stay competitive.